Bassmasters cameras are covering the $195,000 South Carolina Invitational. This is a tremendous bass fishery. Last May, O.T. Fears of Oklahoma astounded the bass fishing world with a 3-day catch of 77 pounds, 4 ounces, a new Bassmaster Invitational Tournament trail record. O.T. also established a new mark for a 1-day 5 bass catch, 34 pounds, 4 ounces. Big bass and big bucks are on the line here again, but not all is well. TV weather maps paint the worst possible conditions. Heavy rain all across the southeast, strong winds for the lakes area, with little hope of favorable fishing conditions for the next 3 days. Not a pretty picture. But as you'll see, there are some bright spots. You'll learn how the pros adapt to weather fronts and be a part of one of the great comebacks in BASS history. I'm Bob Cobb. The Bassmasters will be right back from Santee Lakes, South Carolina.
In the low country of South Carolina, there's a special place called Santee Cooper country, where wildlife abounds, where nature still has a foothold on the way of life, and man still knows to respect the whims of Mother Nature. The Santee Cooper Lakes consist of 100,000-acre Lake Marion, joined by a man-made diversion canal into Lake Moultrie, a 60,000-acre flatland reservoir. Lake Marion, the upper lake, is nature's handiwork, marked with towering cypress trees, Spanish moss, limited access, varied bird life, and stories of leg-long largemouth bass encountered in the Stump Hole Swamp, a legendary bassin spot off the old Santee River channel. Lake Moultrie, the lower lake, is where O.T. Fears set a BASS record catch in May of 1994, 77 pounds and 4 ounces. Moultrie is a sharp contrast to Marion. It's flat, wide open, and dangerous when the wind gets over 10 miles per hour. This morning, as the 330 anglers check out for the first round of the $195,000 Bassmasters South Carolina Invitational, the chances of fishing Lake Moultrie are few, slim, and none. With winds forecast up to 25 miles per hour, rollers on the lower lake will reach over 10 feet. Few tournament conditions in the 27-year history of BASS have been more bleak. Wind is the big worry, but the driving rain adds to the miserable first day, both for the anglers and our Bassmasters camera crews. Just getting back to the daily weigh-in becomes a challenge. As defending champion O.T. Fears III of Oklahoma explains, it was a trying day for him and partner Kevin Worth of Kentucky.
My partner, I stand there fishing and the wind was blowing, and you had to kind of watch the water and see a wind gust coming at you and duck into it, or it'd blow you off the deck of the boat. And I was watching, so I ducked down, and all of a sudden, whap, he hits me upside the head with a spinnerbait. And I turn around and kind of mad at him, you know, and he's gone. I said, I'm looking back, and he's laying back on the back deck, upside down, with the wind blowing him back there.
How tough was it? Only 15 5-bass limits will come to the scales today. Jeff MAGEE of Mississippi brings in one, totaling 16 pounds. Jim Nolan of Arkansas has only 4 bass in his bag, but his 18-pound catch is good enough for the first day lead.
I was just lucky today. Of course, I'd rather be lucky than skillful any day. We had some terrible winds out there, and we were plumb across the lake, and I was paired with Russell Martin today, and he's an excellent fisherman, good man to drive a boat, and we came across all that stuff, and I'm telling you, it was rocking and rolling.
What a day. Only 10 anglers post double-digit weights. Jim Nolan's 18 pounds leads Bob Pastick of Massachusetts by 7 ounces. Jeff MAGEE ranks third with the only 5-bass limit among the top 10. Bob Pastick is on big fish. His 3-fish creel averaged almost 6 pounds each. How Jimmy Nolan fished over hydrilla grass beds was a key to his catch.
I think that what I did different than most people was I burned this spinnerbait. It's a 3/8-ounce jewel spinnerbait with a silver willow leaf blade, and I burned it across the water real hard to cause a wake. And the fish got aggressive and came out and hit the bait. I used a white skirt and a chartreuse trailer. Now tomorrow, I may end up having to pitch a worm, but I'm gonna start off with a spinnerbait.
Day 2. The front blows past, and conditions surprisingly improve. Tournament leader Jimmy Nolan has no problem reaching the swamp on Upper Lake Marion, where he caught a 9-pounder during the 2-day practice. However, establishing a pattern here is difficult.
Yeah, what I'm trying to do is, when you get in an area like this, the only thing you can do is find something different. And what I'm finding is a little deeper water by some of these cypress trees we're by now. That doesn't mean there's not fish up in the flats, but you got some kind of idea what you got to do is pick out something different and then stay with that for a while and see if that works. Right now, I'm working my way to an area where I caught a 9.15 in practice, and hoping that little area right there is where I'm gonna catch my fish. Instead of busting through here and spooking everything in sight, we're just fishing our way to it.
With calmer conditions, Bob Pastick is optimistic of moving up from second place to overtake Nolan. Bob is slow rolling a big willow leaf spinnerbait in the hydrilla beds on the lower lake. The Westport, Massachusetts pro is in an ideal position to win his first Bass Angler Sportsman Society tournament, if he can cash in on the big fish pattern he put together yesterday. Philip Nunley of Alabama is also cashing in on a hot hole partner Kevin Worth of Kentucky pinpointed in practice. Kevin, who fished yesterday with defending champion O.T. Fears, was unable to fish this spot on Lake Moultrie in the high winds.
That's all I did, was looking for something where these fish could really relate to and pull back to if they could. All this is a little 10-foot ditch runs up here and actually diverts off and right about over here and cuts back in here. And right in the crease of this where it turns and goes down, this little ditch runs up here, and as they draw this water down, they just suck back off this flat, and as fronts come through, they can just pull here. They ain't that big. I wanted to, come yesterday, but Mother Nature wouldn't let us, and you'll never fight Mother Nature. You just have to take what you can get. And there's a size 4 of them.